All right, Jimmy Martin back here again. In the last video, we talked to you about free leads. Now, I'll talk to you a little bit more about the paid leads and what you can get. I think the paid leads, you can actually get them right from our back office. You can talk to Michael. He can kind of give you more detail in regards of the different types of leads and how you can go about obtaining those leads. But I think they start out at 75 cents each for each lead. That'll just give you the ability to talk to people you don't know. But there's a different type of mindset or a different type of skill in which you're going to have to adapt. You're going to talk to people you don't know because remember, these people, they don't know you. So when you call, they have no idea who you are or what's the reason why you're calling. So you're going to have to be a lot more persistent in order to get these people on the phone. But once you get them on the phone, understand that you're probably going to have about 10 to 15 seconds in order to really grab their attention, to really keep them on the phone, to keep them engaged. So one of the things you want to do, and we can help you with the script and the pace of the phone call. One of the things you want to do is you really want to ask questions once you get them on the phone. But before you get them on the phone, what you want to do is you want to create curiosity for the individuals before you actually talk to them. Because here's the thing: once they know why you're calling, the curiosity is gone. So they may talk to you, they may not. So what I like to do is I would call the lead, call the individual, and let's say I'm going to call them, but I'm not going to leave a voicemail. So once I leave the voicemail, they know what it is. Then they're going to decide whether or not they want to talk to me. So I'm to keep that curiosity going. Now I'm going to call, and I can hang up from that call, and I'll call right back that same number. Just redial that number. Often, what you're going to find is that when you call the second time, the person picks up. Then you can get right into your your script there with the person. Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Jones? And go right into, depending on the type of lead it is, it can kind of give you the scripting and tell you how to do that. Or if they don't answer the second time, you may call the third time. And when you call the third time, you may be able to reach the person. If not, I mean, if it's a home number, then the person's at work, may not be able to reach them, but don't leave a voicemail. That's imperative. Do not leave a voicemail because then they'll decide who you are, what it is you want. And in their mind, they're going to decide whether or not if you're worthy to talk to them. But really what you want to do is you want to get them on the phone. And once you get them on the phone, then you're able to have that conversation. So let's just say you called the person 3 times and they didn't answer. Now what you can do is you can send a text message. But when you send a text message, you don't want to let them know the reason why you're calling completely. Again, you just want to get them on the phone. So I would send a text message that would say, John, when is the best time to reach you? Question mark. That's it. That's the complete text. I'm sending it to you. Most of the time, people are going to either say, who is this? Or they're going to call you back. Now, here's the thing. When they say, who is this? You know that they have their phone. So now you can call them back, get into the conversation, because the whole thing is to get that lead on the phone so you can kind of talk to them about what it is they wanted. Understand, when people fill these out, leads aren't sales. Leads are just a reason to be able to talk to somebody. This is somebody that has a question regarding the insurance. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to buy the insurance, because if they wanted to buy, they can just go right to the person that puts a sign out in their neighborhood and go buy the insurance from them. What they want to know is a little bit more about it from the marketing that was in there in terms of what is this? Because sometimes the marketing doesn't even have them thinking that it is insurance. So, just let them think that it may be a mortgage protection plan or it may be a final expense plan, but they're not at the time really realizing it's insurance. So once we go through it a little bit more, then it makes it clear in their mind. So again, when you send out the text message you want to send out is one that's going to be asking a question. If they respond back, call them, pick up the phone, call them to get in contact with the person. Now, when you're on the phone, you can have that back and forth dialogue with the individual by asking them questions to keep them engaged, and you can take it even further. Like I think the last one in which I just did myself, I think we were on the phone from the lead person that inquired, and this was an old lead that was like 3 years old, but we were on the phone for about 49 minutes, and then ended up turning that one into a sale. I think this sale, because of what we end up talking about, it went from the average sale. I think the sale itself was about, call me and I'll tell you about it and tell you exactly what I did and how I been able to maneuver it. Other thing, if you see on the lead, there's an email address on there. Send an email, which is that one's going to be vague. Again, ask them when is the best time to reach them, or you can say like, John, am I contacting you, John? Anything you send, you want it to be a question so that to respond back so you can get engaged with that individual. Now, let's just say you have the lead and you've reached out to the person numerous times and haven't gotten in contact with them. Now, here's what you can do. So what I often do is, if the leads are relatively close, you can put them in geographical order. So you map them out, let's say on a map, on a grid, where you can drive from place to place, and you're going to go out and door knock. Here's what I say you're going to door knock is, you can look official. This is actually my license. This is an old license, but I look official. So when I go knock on the door and I have this on, knocking on the door, I look like I'm somebody. And then I actually have Padfolio here. When I'm showing up at the door, I may be looking at the Padfolio, and just I have the lead there, waiting for the person to answer the door. And once they answer the door, hey, I'm just James, the guy that getting back in contact you regarding your request. And I'm gonna hand them the lead. We get into a conversation right there on the porch. Or if the person's not home and they leave a delivery notice, if you don't have delivery notice, you can go to the dollar store or Staples and pick up these sticky notes. And the reason why you would do that on door knocking is quite simply because you can leave a message, with the delivery notice. It looks like you dropped something off from UPS and they missed it. But here's what you want to do. The whole idea, again, is to get the person to call you back so you can have a conversation. So with these delivery notice, you see you get them in bright colors, and there's a reason for getting them in bright colors. What I would do is I leave a note. Now, say if there's a husband and wife, right? There's a husband and wife name that's on a lead. I'm going to leave a note for the wife. If you're a female and there's a husband and wife, you want to leave a note for the husband. The reason being is that, again, you just want the people to call you back. So let's say this is John and Mary. I would leave a note saying, Mary, I stopped by. Nobody was home. James, put my number. Now, I have a Google number. If you have a Gmail, you have a Google number associated with it. And I just use my Google number on there, right? So that way when they call, they're calling the Google number, so I know what they're calling. It shows up on my phone, Google number. I know it's something for business. I don't answer the phone. I let him leave a voicemail, because now John wants to know why I'm calling, why I stopped by to see Mary. So he's leaving a voicemail for me. And then now that I know that they're home, I can go right by there with the lead. Now I can go by there and talk to them, find out what exactly they're looking for. But the reason why I like to get them in bright colors is when I'm driving back by the house, I can see from the street if the sticky note is still on the door. So they have a bright one in bright colors, I can see if it's still on the door. If I drive back by and I see it's not on the door, and now there's a car in the driveway or a car in front of the house, more than likely the people are home. I can go walk right up to the door with the lead in my hand and ask them, what exactly is it you were looking for when you had filled this out. So the whole key, again, is getting in contact with the individual. So that's kind of what we're talking about here, is for you to be able to connect with those people. And if that doesn't work, I also have a couple of letters that I created. And it's crazy. As I'm making this video, just had somebody contact me this week, and we just be able to put a plan in place for that individual from a letter that I sent out, because when I knocked on the door, left a note, no response. So direct mail, because here's the thing, some of these are direct mail leads. The people, I know that they open the mail, so I send it directly to them, put my letter in there along with his, and lo and behold, we were able to connect. We talked on the phone. We talked on the phone about 3 times this week in regards of what it is he wants to do, what it is he wants to accomplish. So that's the difference in terms of, there's a whole different mindset when you're talking to people with the paid leads opposed to the people that with the free leads. So, you have to spend a little bit more time in terms of getting in contact with the people. Then once you get in contact with them, you got about 10 or 15 seconds to really gauge their, to get their attention. So you can start, in terms of, we have the scripts, we can show you how to do that. But you want to ask questions so you can engage the person and get them thinking, but also let them know that, you're there to help them. Get back to the person that shared this video with you, or you can reach out to me directly. Be happy to help you. And my number, the Google number, 856-887-1562. Talk to you soon.